Hi, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week. My partner, Kristen Oaks-White, has the week off. Rain remains in the forecast for much of the state. This after tropical weather sent moisture into Louisiana over the past week. Hurricane Hannah made landfall in Texas, south of Corpus Christi, dropping more than 15 inches of rain on the southern tip of the state. That system contributed to a wet week across Louisiana, slowing progress rice farmers were seeing in their fields as they began their harvest season. Hannah is the first named hurricane to make landfall in the U.S. during the 2020 hurricane season. That is off to a record start and expected to be very busy, according to LSU Ag Center climatologist Jay Grimes. Louisiana has already had one unwelcome tropical visitor named Cristobal, and the chances are pretty good that we could have another. So if you haven't geared up for hurricane season yet, right now is the time to do so. If you need a place to start, we'll link you to a great resource on our website at twilatv.org. Rice harvest is underway in southwestern Louisiana. Well, at least it was until those rains we just talked about happened. According to the latest crop progress report from the USDA, farmers in Louisiana have cut about 22% of the rice crop. That's well ahead of the 5-year average at 9%. TWILA's Carl Wiggers traveled to Vermilion Parish to visit with a couple of farmers there to see how their crops are looking.
Combines are rolling, trucks are driving, and bins are filling up in rice country, at least before the recent rains that halted their progress. Vermilion Parish rice farmer John McLean says this growing season has been great for his crop.
Yeah, I mean, the rice took off from the beginning. We had the right weather in the beginning and the cool nights in the end to do everything the right way, and it was the right way for the rice to grow. We were pleased with the outcome of the growing season. It was ideal conditions. Just
down the road, McLean's neighbor, Hunter Luquette, says missing the big rains have made a huge difference.
It was an inch or two. It wasn't 5, 6, 10 inches at a time, so we really didn't have to pump off as much as we usually do, which helps save on fuel right there, and less expense on our part for that.
Luquette says he's thrilled to be cutting the rice in this field without wading through water like in years past.
This farm here is some very low land. It's below sea level. It's pump off. You have to pump water on it to flood it, and you have to turn around and pump it off when you're ready to harvest it. And a lot of times we get big rains that come back and reflood it. So a lot of times we cut this farm in the water or just muddy, and it's a mess. But with it being dry like this right now, it's a luxury to be able to cut this rice on dry ground for sure.
Both Luquette and McLean say they're happy with the yields they're seeing so far.
So far, the crop's been pretty solid for the growing season we had. You always generally hope for the best, and we've had solid crop, solid yields so far. So pleased with the way it's doing.
We're not breaking records, but it's doing pretty good. The ground conditions have been pretty good. The ground's hard. We're making a good second crop.
That second crop, or ratoon, is just as important as good yields early in the year. Especially after a difficult crawfish year, many rice farmers are counting on a solid rice crop to keep them profitable.
We try to make as much rice off of an acre as we can. So, the second crop is crucial to us staying in business. If we get a wet season and we cut our whole first crop in the mud, that would just be horrible.
I rely on it. That's where that's the make or break. A good second crop makes things go a whole lot smoother, and the way we're managing the stubble and fertilizing and stuff on the second crop, we're making a good second crop. It's worth it.
McLean says all the hard work it takes to make this crop and bring it to the market is worth it every time he walks into a grocery store.
To walk into grocery stores and you see the name on the mill where you sold the rice to, and know the possibility that might be your rice that you're bringing home and putting on the table and watching the kids eat.
For This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Carl Wiggers reporting.
Rice is not the only crop with combines in the field. Corn harvest is underway in Louisiana, and I know for sure Carl is looking forward to giving us an update on that crop. If only he knew a corn farmer. I think he knows one in Franklin Parish. There's some good news for Louisiana sugarcane farmers. It's a new variety called HO 13739 that will be available on a limited basis for planting this summer. The current crop is much farther along than last year's. TWILA's Craig Gautreaux shows us how it's looking so far.
What a difference a year makes. Last year, Louisiana's sugarcane crop was short and light in tonnage, but this year's crop is much taller with expectations of having higher tonnage. Experts point to good spring weather as being the catalyst.
Dry spring never killed a cane crop. So people were able to cultivate, put out herbicides, fertilize like they wanted to. Got a lot of good field work done.
And hot summer temperatures and timely rains have created ideal growing conditions.
During the grand growth phase, this crop can grow as much as an inch a day. So the crop can really transform before your eyes.
Last year, planting was delayed because the crop was short and less mature. That will not be the case this year. Growers will also have a new variety called HO 13-739 to plant in their fields.
It's an early maturing variety. That's good. Our harvest dates are starting earlier and earlier with these big crops. It appears to have some level of cold tolerance.
New varieties are the lifeblood of a healthy sugarcane industry, but developing them does not come easily or quickly.
The release of a new variety is a celebrated event. Well, it does take 12 years from crossing to release. So that's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears along the way.
Louisiana is seeing a significant increase in cane acres, and Gravois attributes this to stable prices and high-yielding varieties that give growers confidence to increase acreage. With the LSU Ag Center, this is Craig Gautreaux reporting.
Louisiana is approaching 500,000 acres of sugarcane, which represents a 20% increase during the past decade. Speaking of sugar, this week TWILA's Neil Melanson is out in the sugarcane fields near Napoleonville. And Neil, as I understand it, some of that cane is not going to the mill.
This cane field in Napoleonville is getting ready for the harvest in September, but some of it here in July has already been used for a brand new 100% homegrown product. Come with me this week to Sugarfield Spirits in Gonzales.
These hard joints, that's where the sugar is at.
Sugarfield Spirits begins its story in a sugar field, namely those of Kenny Thibodeau in Assumption Parish. He's showing them off to owner Andrew Solto, who harvested some of this cane himself. Andrew brought some of the final product to Kenny with the coordinates of where it was harvested right on the bottle. In Gonzales, you can locate these bottles right here. The company started back in January of this year, and Andrew says using Louisiana products is at the heart of their business.
So whenever I'm eating, like I try to eat as local as possible. You know, I go to farmers markets and do like that. We incorporate that into our business. When I look at any of our spirits, like our rum, we use sugar and molasses. We get both of those from Lula Mills, which is in Assumption Parish. So this is coming from local cane in this region.
They don't just use cane juice. Blackstrap molasses from the Lula Mill is also used here. Andrew's brother Thomas is the other owner, and he is making sure it's flowing as smoothly as it is slowly. The distilling process is quite involved, and we have a full tour online you can follow. However, what we can show you is these literal 2 tons of Louisiana sugar that will go into their products. In addition, Andrew says seasonal specialties from Louisiana are used throughout the year.
We just sold out of our strawberry liqueur, which was really, really popular. We teamed up with a strawberry farmer in Springfield, and he hooked us up with the strawberries, and it made this awesome liqueur. We've sold out of it until next year. Next year, we're going to probably do 10 times what we did this year.
Andrew says even during the pandemic, the store is open on weekends where you can safely pick up some of your own. He says the closures were hard on their business, but people are still getting a taste for their products.
We don't dwell on, the hand that we're dealt ever. We're always, like, I guess anybody in agriculture or any farmer, they're always going to have, issues with regulations, issues with the weather, issues with, whatever it is that you're facing. You just have to pivot, remain positive, and do your best.
And what do those farmers think of Sugarfield Spirits? Let's go ask the guy who grew the ingredients.
Just as smooth alcohol, I guess, as I've ever swallowed. I can tell the cane juice is in it, but I know what I'm tasting. It's great.
Now, while the cane juice from this field is used in this particular rum, they're experimenting with a number of different Louisiana products all across the board at Sugarfield Spirits. And Avery, yes, I am bringing some back with you. Please share it with Kristen so she doesn't feel left out.
Well, Neil, Kristen took the week off, so that means I don't have to share, right? And I can tell you now, Rum Agricole is one of the cleanest tasting rums there is out there, so be sure to try it. Now, all of Sugarfield Spirits are available on the website. We'll link you over to theirs at twilatv.org. Elderberry is much more than a word used in one of the more memorable lines from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's also a superfruit packed with antioxidants in high demand during this COVID-19 pandemic. It's also going to be the next crop for a Louisiana Desert Storm veteran who is using agriculture as part of his own healing process so he can continue to serve. Brandon and Lauren Bro are looking at their blueberry bushes on their farm just north of Folsom, Louisiana in St. Tammany Parish. Brandon is medically retired from the military. He flew scout attack helicopters in Iraq. You couldn't tell from his upbeat personality and youthful look that he suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, painful cluster headaches which last months, and also other health issues.
Food has been the one consistent thing that has truly improved how I felt.
And there's one food he plans to grow on this cleared land that helps him most.
Nature's medicine chest is right here.
American elderberry.
It's double the antioxidants of blueberries, and it's just it's a superfruit.
The Bros are first-time farmers. Lauren grew up in an oil field family.
Agriculture was foreign to me, completely foreign.
Now the two run Cockeyed Farms and are working to share their experiences with other men and women who have served in the military and are transitioning into agriculture.
Farmer Veteran Coalition is a national organization. Our mission is to mobilize veterans to feed America.
It's an extreme circumstance that military members are put in, and we take it for granted. It's a military family. It's not just a soldier. So my wife and my family are in these extreme circumstances as well, but we all have developed a team and at the same time independent job basically status of covering down where the other person is off doing something else. So it's just a natural transition to go into something to where you want to help others, you want to serve others, and we're trying to again, transition and train soldiers to help feed America.
Lauren says she is still in the organizational stages of establishing the Louisiana chapter of the Farmer Veteran Coalition.
We are looking for members. You do not have to be a farmer. You do not have to be a veteran to be a member of Farmer Veteran Coalition, but the benefits that the organization offers to farmers and veterans are absolutely amazing.
Lauren Bro says she became inspired to take on a greater role on the farm and in the Farmer Veteran Coalition after attending the Louisiana Women in Agriculture Conference. To learn more about Louisiana Women in Ag or the Farmer Veteran Coalition, visit our website at twilatv.org. This past week, a number of Louisiana residents received a packet of unlabeled seeds in the mail that appears to come from China or an Eastern European country. The Louisiana Department of Agriculture quickly responded with statements explaining that you should not plant these mystery seeds. Commissioner of Agriculture and Forestry Dr. Mike Strain says his office is investigating the seeds received so far. If you or someone you know has received a package that looks like this, with contents that look like plant seeds, here's what you should do. First, do not plant these seeds from any unknown source. Next, contact the Louisiana Department of Agriculture and Forestry at 225-925-4733 to report the seeds, and they'll make arrangements to get those seeds from you. Still to come on TWILA, meet a farmer who's just peachy, and so is his story. Stay with us. If you've ever walked the Red Stick Farmers Market, you've probably been offered a handful of fresh pecans or a slice of a ripe peach from Buddy Miller. And while the market is where you may find him on the weekend, TWILA's Jennifer Finley spent the day with Mr. Buddy at his peach orchard in Waterproof, Louisiana. That's where she learned about his farming operation that he's perfected over the last 60 years.
Buddy Miller on a garden spot in Tensaw and Concordia parishes. And today, at the moment, we're harvesting okra, both green okra and burgundy okra, and all kind of squashes. And we'll get to our peaches in a little bit. We raise green okra for people that don't know better, and the burgundy okra for people that do. It is awesome. It's not slimy like regular okra. You can actually slice it and put it in green salad. I've been farming for a little over 60 years. Love it. It's rewarding and challenging. We are on the Tensaw-Concordia parish line, just south of that line, and our peach orchard is right on the line between Tensaw and Concordia on Lake St. John. And this is alluvial soil that was deposited from Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana through millions of years down the Mississippi River flooding. And it's some of the most naturally fertile soil in the world. Right here is burgundy and green okra, tomatoes on the end, yellow squash, zucchini, butternut squash, spaghetti squash, and we raise the best tasting variety of cantaloupes ever. And we raise 4 different kinds of watermelons to satisfy virtually every customer's desires. And we raise probably about 20 different varieties of peaches, because each variety lasts for about only a week. So for us to have peaches from May through end of August, I think we plant around 30 different varieties. There's no secret that God intended peaches to be ripened on the tree and go in the orchard and pick it and eat it. We let them get as ripe as we can on the tree. We know we're going to sell them all anyway, so why not pick them at the peak of ripeness, juiciness, and flavor. The Red Stick Farmers Market has been my best source of income, and we don't have enough people here. We're down to less than 2,000 in the whole parish, and it's just not enough people here to support what we're doing. And we're fortunate to be able to come to the Farmers Market in Baton Rouge, and we've been very well accepted, and it's gotten where that our customers have turned more like family members. We see them every week, and that's really gratifying, and we appreciate it. And I get up at 2, leave about 2:45, and get back about around 7 o'clock. Just right for a young growing boy. They love us and I love them too. All right, you like those peaches right there. Check this watermelon for me. There are 4 words and sounds to listen for. Think, thank, thunk, and thud. Now think is a high-pitched sound like thumping on a crystal water glass. And thank's a little deeper, thunk deeper yet, and thud would be like tapping on a bag of flour or something. That's overripe. So the think is a high-pitched sound and is not ripe at all. So your challenge is to go about halfway between thank and thunk. Each customer has different views of what they like. Some people like big, long, striped watermelons. Some people like seedless watermelons better. Some people like the little sugar baby watermelons better. And we plant some yellow meat for people that like yellow meat watermelons. And that covers the whole spectrum of customer taste. This is our cantaloupe, probably the best flavored variety ever. It's more difficult to grow and it's more of a challenge to grow, but boy is it worth it. We're in the process of picking peaches now. What row you on now? All right, thank you. It takes a low IQ to even think about raising a peach. That's the first prerequisite right there. But seriously, it's challenging, but rewarding most years. This peach was just picked, has a green leaves on it. Those leaves will stay green for 2 or 3 days, that's it. So we leave the green leaves on, and that's 100% assurance that's a fresh peach, right? When you pick a tree-ripened peach, cut it and peel it and taste it, that lets you know it's worthwhile, I guarantee you. So if you're looking for an occupation that gives you a challenge, this is it. It's a good environment to raise your children, good living environment. You see God at work every day in what you do.
You can find Mr. Buddy with his peaches and watermelons at the Red Stick Farmers Market in downtown Baton Rouge every Saturday from 8 a.m. until noon. Also look for late summer seasonal produce from him, including squash, Asian pears, okra, and figs. They're really tasty this year. Still to come on TWILA, what did the cow say to the deer? I have no idea, but I think we're going to find out next. If you need a laugh today, and let's face it, right now, who doesn't? We have just the prescription you need in this week's TWILA Boost. Comedian Charlie Behrens created this video featuring Charlie the cow and Miles the deer swapping stories on the farm, and I bet you can't watch this without laughing at least once.
Oh dear.
Holy cow, you startled me. What are you doing out here in the corn?
I'm not supposed to be out here. You know, I'm just eyeing it up. Knee high by the 4th of July, not quite there yet.
How you been other than that?
I've told you this before. Stop it with the other joke.
What? What?
Hey, what's going on? Come on. Eyes are up here.
Eyes down here.
Sorry, I was admiring your rack. What? What is it?
I think I heard a car. I'll be right back.
Oh. So senseless.
Woo, man, what a rush.
Why would you do that?
Deer crossing, I had the right of way. You know what, it looks like you've been gaining some weight. You need to lay off the grass.
You should talk. You look like you put on quite a few yourself.
Actually, I found a great spot in the woods.
Yeah.
There's salt growing on a tree.
That doesn't sound natural.
They also got a bucket, corn and apples in it.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, you want an apple? I got one for you.
Yeah, sure. Huh, you know, if you think this is an apple, you might not want to go back there in the fall.
Speaking of which, I was at John and Jane's house the other day.
Oh yeah, the does. How are they doing?
Jane's looking pretty good.
Ah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wild rut this year.
You know, you and your gosh darn promiscuity, I don't agree with that, okay?
I'm a polygamous species. I got does in different area codes.
Us cattle, we just have one partner for life.
Bull.
Yeah, Tank. You know him?
Looks like he's about to wrestle with Tabitha over there.
What the heck he is? Tank, I will grab you by the horns.
He's really getting after it. Wow.
Sorry.
How dare he?
Really?
Well, I'm just bucking around.
I am not in the mood.
You're really milking that.
You think that's funny? How would you feel if someone's pulling on your teats all day? There's a lot of pressure to produce, because if I don't, you know what happens to me.
Yeah, you got a lot at stake, don't you? Why are you throwing apples like that? I think we just need to relax. Hold on, I got something for you. Found these in the treehouse next to the bait box. Here you go. Nice hooves.
You got water there, huh? It actually feels nice on my teats.
Yeah, it's days like these I really miss Harold.
Yeah, you guys used to hang out a lot together.
Yeah, now he's just hanging up at the supper club.
Ah.
Lost a good one. Pour one out for him. Gone too soon, Harold.
Yeah, we lost Bessie too. I bet Harold's looking over her right now, you know, because she's on the dining room table at the supper club.
Lost another.
Rest in peace, Bessie.
Speaking of Harold, have you seen his brother Francis around lately? I haven't seen him much.
Oh, yeah, Francis. I saw Francis the other day. For some reason, he was sleeping on the side of the interstate. I said, hey there, Francis, that's a weird place to go sleep in. And he didn't say anything back, so yeah, I didn't want to wake him. Oh, shoot.
I'm still laughing about no idea. Well, that does it for this edition of TWILA. Be sure to join us next time when we'll show you how harvest is going in other parts of the state. Until then, you can watch all of our stories online at twilatv.org, and be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and also be sure to subscribe to our videos on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel there. For all of us here at TWILA, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again right here next week.